My name is Dan Richardson. I'm an immigration attorney with about 8 years' experience in immigration. If you reach this site, then you're interested in immigration topics, and I have information on almost everything related to family immigration. I in particular want to help you get the legal immigration status for a loved one. For example, if your fiance is in a foreign country, then you need to get a fiance visa, which is also known as a K-1 visa. If your spouse is in a foreign country, then you need to get a marriage visa, which is also known as a K-3 visa. If your spouse is in the U.S. but not legal anymore, for example, an overstay on a legal entry, then you need to adjust their status to a green card. If you have a parent, child, brother, or sister in a foreign country, you need to petition them. I can also help you get legal immigration status for yourself. For example, if you have to remove conditions on a green card, if you want to naturalize to citizenship, if you want to get a green card due to marriage to a United States citizen, if you want to get a proper defense for immigration court if you're in proceedings, or if you want to get asylum or green card due to domestic violence or some other crime. Let me give you an example so that I can make this real for you. Here's a client that I got a marriage visa for. X had just married a United States citizen after legally entering the United States on a visitor's visa with her family as a child 23 years before. She had been in illegal status throughout the following 23-year period, and she sought my help in getting a green card. I consulted with her and her husband, prepared all the paperwork, and attended their interview with them. X got her green card. Let's talk about a story, one of my client examples for a fiance visa. This is also known as a K-1 visa. The initials PB had found a woman he loved on the internet in another country. He had visited her in person, which is a requirement under the law. They fell in love, and he came to me on his return to see how to bring her to the United States. I consulted with PB and prepared all of the paperwork, coordinating with his fiancée in the foreign country. She soon arrived, and then I helped her get a green card after they married. Now let's talk about another example of client story. This one evolved over a couple of years, and my client went from seeking asylum to getting citizenship in the United States. Initials AR came to me after his life was threatened by police in his home country. They also told him if he returned, they'd finish the job. I prepared his asylum application, and it was denied at the asylum office. I then represented him in the immigration court, where he was denied again. I appealed that denial to the Board of Immigration Appeals, where we won his asylum. A year later, he got his green card. 5 years later, his naturalization application was turned down. I then helped him appeal the denial and overcome the objections, and he's a citizen today. Let's talk about adjustment of status. If you're not familiar with the term, this means that you're adjusting or changing your status from whatever status you're in to a green card in the United States. The requirements to adjust status are primarily that you have an immediately available visa, and as the spouse of a United States citizen, you meet this criteria. You also have to have entered illegally, and this is the major stumbling block for many of my clients who entered illegally and are not entitled to adjustment of status. For that, we have to discuss other alternatives. The green card process has two players, the petitioner and the applicant. The petitioner is the citizen here in the United States who is petitioning or requesting that their close relative, typically their spouse or parent, are going to adjust status. The green card applicant is the person who is converting or changing their status to that of a green card. Naturalization to citizenship has several requirements. You have to first meet the good moral character requirement, which is usually measured for the prior 5-year period. You also have a 5-year waiting period as a green card holder before you're eligible for naturalization, unless you were petitioned by a spouse who was a citizen, and that spouse is still willing to sign everything for you to become a citizen. Then it's a 3-year waiting period. You have to complete the naturalization application for citizenship. There's a background check conducted by the Immigration Service, and then you have an interview in which you will have a small English test and a small what I call civics test, which is about the government structure in the United States.